Have you ever wondered why flashy websites don't lead to conversions? And you probably think you need to be a great designer to create expensive, high-converting websites, right? Wrong. You can easily outperform your competition if you apply what I'll share in this video. And no, you don't need a massive budget to achieve these results. You can actually do it for free if you want. I'm Kay from the Asset team, and after building countless websites as a freelancer, I noticed a few key things that separate high-converting designs from flashy distractions. So today we'll look at specific website designs to understand what makes a website really pro. And later in the video, I will share with you a checklist that you can use to create websites that outperform your competition every single time. And first, we need to talk about amateur versus pro. And it's not always what we think. Because be honest, when I talk about amateur, you think about something like this. And when I talk about pro, you think about something like that. But take a look at this website, for example. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is a beauty. You can play around, you can turn around, and as you scroll, you have various other elements. It's just beautiful. This is a marvel. But it's not the most convenient for users. First of all, the music starts right away, and yeah, there are two schools in this. Some people like it, some people don't, but it's good when you have the option. Next, it took quite a while to load, and that can be an issue, as we'll see in a moment. And last but not least, to me at least, the message is not clear. I don't see any clear call to action. It probably took a long time to build, and I'm not really sure it's convenient for the end user. But now take a look at this website. Every commute counts. Eco-friendly commutes, join trial. I mean, it's still looking nice. Of course, not as beautiful as the one we just saw, but it's super clear. The message is clear, it's looking professional, and there is a clear call to action. And if you look at the mobile version, it's even more obvious. So yes, a lot of eye candy, you can interact, that's great, but apart from that, what if I quickly want some information? I don't even know where to find it. Now, of course, there is the menu here, but come on, you're not helping me here. On the other hand, once again, this is super clear, clean, clear message. You know what it's about, and you have a call to action. Now, don't get me wrong, design is super important, but being able to quickly access, navigate, and figure out your website is crucial. So what are the pro tips that we can get from these examples? Well, the first one is that fast loading is super crucial. In fact, a 1 second delay in page load time has been shown to cause a 7% loss in conversion and 11% fewer page views. For an online store earning $50,000 a day, that 1 second delay adds up to more than $1 million in lost sales each year. Yeah. And that's not all. Increasing page load speed from 5 to 1 second can triple your conversions. On the other hand, the longer your page takes to load, the more likely users will bounce. Next, we see the importance of responsive web design, but also of the human touch. You can see one of the differences here is there's no human, and here there is. Now, it would be even better with a face because it's been proven that people react more to human faces. But still, if we compare this one and this one, it makes a world of difference because there is a human. Now, another pro trait we see on this specific website, for example, is there is a clear message and a clear call to action, which we didn't see in the other one. And last but not least, user-centric design. We can see on this website, they took the user at the center of what they're trying to do. They put themselves in the shoes of the user, what the user wants, what message is going to resonate with the user, and which action should the user take next. Now, a quick word about criticizing designs in this video. Now, I must insist that this is purely for educational purposes. And it's not about criticizing designers that spend a lot of time working on their designs. And actually, as you just saw, the pro websites are not always the best looking ones. Wait, what?
Bruh.
Yeah, and that's one of the keys. Now, you may be looking at me and thinking, hey, I can't even design a triangle and you expect me to create a beautiful modern website? Well, in 1999, that would have been an issue, but nowadays you have tools like ZipWP, Starter Template, so you have no excuse. And of course, you'll find a link in the description below. Now, that will get 90% of the job done, and the remaining 10% is what you will learn in this video. Now, before we move on to the next example, let me ask you, what does pro mean to you when you're talking about a website? Because pro does not necessarily mean 3D flashy animations. Actually, quite the contrary. And if I can give you an example, we've all seen these fashion shows with weird outfits that we will never wear, or at least I wouldn't. Hey, I'm not judging you. In my book, a pro website is a website that achieves its goals like good return on investment, more email subscribers, more sales, and so on. Actually, I learned this lesson many years ago when I was building flashy websites. Literally in Flash. But yeah, I was building flashy websites while my friend Louis was focusing on building efficient affiliate websites that made him money. While I was doing nothing, but I had very beautiful websites to look at that I built, but he was making the money. So Louis, if you're watching, thank you for that lesson. Now, that does not mean that your website should not be good looking. It just means that you should balance aesthetics with usability so that you have a great looking website, but that performs even better. Now, with that out of the way, let's look at more examples from various industries so that you can learn how to create websites that will outperform your competition. And as promised, I will give you the checklist later in this video. So let's start with the service industry and let's start with this website. Yes, it's not in English, and no, I don't speak German, but sometimes I like to look at websites in other languages because the obvious things stand out, especially when you don't understand the language. But we'll mix also with English speaking languages. So here you can see, okay, there's a big title, but I don't really see something catchy, right? There is no picture of a human, but the good thing is we know it's about, electricity, and we can kind of figure it out. There is a call to action, so not everything is bad, but it's really bare bones, especially in this day and age. Next, still in the electricity industry, take a look at this website, which is slightly better, but we have another issue here. Okay, first of all, we still don't have the human faces, but that's a different thing. But here we have an issue with the navigation. We have so many items in the navigation, and you may be thinking, yeah, what's wrong with that? Well, Hicks' law is wrong with that. More specifically, Hicks' law states that the time it takes to make a decision increases with the number of options. In other words, if you have 10 things to choose from and pick one, you can move on quickly. But if there are 1 million things to choose from, selecting any one of them is going to take a lot longer. And I will not go into details, but basically it also works with the short memory. The short memory can remember 5 to 9 items, so they took a middle ground with 7, if I'm correct. So basically you should try to have maximum 7 elements in the first level of your navigation. And then we can see here they put stuff in the second level, so they kind of know that, but they would do a better job if they had maximum 7 elements. 6, 5 is even better. Now take a look at this website. This is way better. Now there are a few things that personally I don't really like. I think the 2 levels of navigation, I'm not really a fan, but as you start scrolling, it disappears. This to me looks way better. They know about Hicks' law because they broke down, they have 4 elements here. And then as you can see, you have kind of a mega menu and they have more elements there. There's a human face that's smiling. There is a clear call to action and the design is modern. Whatever modern means. But if you take a look at this, and you go back to this, you kind of see what I'm talking about. This looks way more professional and branded. And if we look at the mobile version, it's even more obvious here with the first website, the second website, and here we have the third website. Now, granted, there is an issue here with readability. With the text, it's all about trust. In terms of accessibility, they could do a better job, but this is easily fixable. You see here above the fold, and in case you don't know, this relates to newspapers, so they were folded, and you try to get the important stuff above the fold. So what makes this design pro, or at least way more pro than the other ones? Well, first of all, it's a modern design. If you compare it to the other ones, as we saw, it's way better looking. Next, the branding is on point. You can see it with their logo and color palette, and you can see they've put work into it. Next, the navigation, they know about Hicks' law and they respected that. And finally, there's a clear message, a clear call to action. So there's no confusion in the head of the visitor of the website. And be honest, if you quickly needed an electrician and you land here, you open this one and you see this one. Most of the people are going to go for this one. Now, there are other criteria like reviews and so on, but purely based on the first impression, most people would choose this one. Next, let's move on to the print-on-demand industry. And as you can see here, how can I say this? So you can see there's a lot of work that's been going into this design. And actually it looks gorgeous. Let's be honest, it really looks gorgeous. You can see the designers had fun and it looks beautiful. But because there is a but, all the moving parts is exactly what you don't want to do on a website where you're trying to get some kind of return on investment or actions from the visitors. If it's purely an art gallery, you just want people to watch, then fine. But here, yes, there is a good call to action and it stands out. That's the good thing about this design. But everything else here above the fold, in my opinion, it's bad because it just draws your attention on the non-important stuff. Now, of course, they want to showcase what they do, but as we'll see, there's another way to do it. Because here, I don't know about you, but I just want to get away from there. So I just want to start scrolling. And maybe I get past the get started call to action. Here we have the experience generator. Personally, I just wanted to get out of it. And I remember a few years ago when I was running my agency, we did some tests. We did some tests for our client. We did some A/B testing. We had one hero section with a slider, and we had a hero section with a static image. And let me tell you this, the static image completely beat up the slider as if a heavyweight boxing champion was trying to fight against a ballet dancer. Yeah. Now let's take a look at what the competition does. And first, let's take a look at Printful. As you can see, it's way cleaner. There is movement, but it's slower paced. Could be even a bit slower in my opinion, but still, if you compare it to this, this is like... Sorry for this. I'll go. But yeah, you compare this to this, and it's like you're back to the quiet space, and it's way better. So here you can focus on the call to action, on the message. And let's take a look at another one. So here we have Printify, and it's even less movement, but there is some movement here. You can see the item sold, and then there is a change of image. Now I'm not saying you cannot have movement. Like one of the effects I like to use is Ken Burns effect, that you can use like a slow effect, like slow zoom in effect, for example, as long as it's more on the subtle side. And let me illustrate this with two similar examples. As you can see here, it's quite fast paced and your eyes are drawn to the animation. Now look at this one. It's quite similar in the design spirit, but you can see the movement is really subtle, so you can focus on the message. Now, of course, they forgot to put the call to action, but that's why they need to watch this video. But for the rest, you can see this is way more effective if you want to convey a message. And if they had a nice call to action button here, nice contrasts, tasty like Italian pasta. And if you take a look at the mobile version, it's even more obvious. Now let's take a look at Printful, and as you can see, there is movement, but it's slower paced, and you can see the call to action. And here on Printify, which seems to be the best one for the mobile version, super clean, you can focus on the call to action. So basically, this website is more pro, in my opinion, than this one, because this one keeps the attention span of the viewer intact. It's going to be easy for the viewer to identify the call to action and take an action. Next, let's move on to the tech industry. Yeah, so it starts with a pop-up. Now, most of us hate pop-ups, but they tend to be good for conversion. But I wouldn't say right away when you land on the website. That would be the first thing. I don't even know you and there's already a pop-up. But hey, so here we have experience, then we see some 3D model walking, we see the product here, and it's okay-ish, but it doesn't compare to this. This is a competitor. So basically these are AR glasses, so augmented reality glasses, the same as this one. They're really competitors, but you can see the difference. Here it's like really non-human. Here you see the human face, you see the branding. I mean, look at this. You can see they spend money either on a good photographer or on a good AI prompt engineer, but basically it's really branded. It's really looking professional. They try to emulate some kind of Apple type of design, which a lot of brands do, to be honest, but you can see the difference. Whereas here, really, I don't really know where to go. And then of course, looking, I was looking like, oh, when I hover over it, it tells me, here's the shop. Thank you for telling me. Thank you. So I click on it and then it's super busy. It's really busy. They have some nice visuals, but there's too many things going on. Here, the shop is here, easily identifiable. Just click on it, shop now. They lost a click in my opinion, but still easy to find. And if I go to buy now, that's it. As you can see, it's way cleaner. I can focus on the glasses. And this is also proven in terms of e-commerce. You want nice, big, bold pictures. And if I go back here, yeah, there is a picture, but everything else around it is just screaming attention. And if you take a look at the mobile version, it's even more obvious. You can see it here. Not bad, once again, there's probably a lot of work that's been going on in this design to create the 3D models, and kudos to the designers for that. But in terms of conversions, I would bet that this website converts way better. So what makes this website more pro than the other one? Well, first of all, I would say the branding. There is a clear branding. The visuals are beautiful. You can see they put a lot of budget, or at least time and energy, into this. Next, we have the human touch. Instead of seeing 3D models, we see humans using the product. And finally, effective design. It's a very clean design, really tailored to e-commerce and tech. There's a lot of well laid out white space, and it just looks super clean. Next, let's move on to the retail industry. So here we can see it's very original, and I find it super beautiful. It really caught my eye. I saw this, I was like, wow, and then I was like, how much this costs? I just wanted to know. So, where is it? How do I find it? So I can click on it and play it. And yeah, what if I want to know the price? Where is it? So I'm like, oh, maybe shop list. So shop list. Oh, no, it's not on this website. Let me click online shop. All right. Oh, great. Great. I get it now.
全く混乱しない。
Now let's compare it to this website, which is way simpler, but it's beautiful as you can see. So if I click here on the shop, here is my product, and there you go. I get my price, I can buy from here, super clean, I can look at my products, and I can focus on what I want to focus. Whereas here, it's nice, the animation is nice, but I can't really stop it. So, I want to look at one of the products. All right, so here it is, but yeah. Nothing. It's just moving. Every time I move the mouse, something moves, and I don't really get it. And I work in this industry. And if we look at the mobile version, as you can see, even though this website is beautiful, but the issue lies elsewhere. How do I get to the product easily on this website? Which is the mistake in my opinion. If I look at this, yes, it's more classical. You might even say boring, but it works. Go here, go to the shop, have my product, see the price, choose the size, buy, and boom, it's on the way. So why is this website more professional? Well, first of all, it's user-centered. They put themselves in the shoes of the user. The user just wants to buy a bag. So here it is. Here's my shop, and there you go. And that's what I've been used to because I go on other e-commerce websites. Whereas this one, well, it's nice, but what can I do about it? And next, the human touch. Because as you can see here, you can see the person using the product. So you can imagine yourself using that product. Whereas here, it's like a tech demo. Next, let's look at the software industry. And you can see here a screen recorder. So the website is not bad. There's a lot of good elements of design. Maybe a bit too many call to actions, like 1, 2, 3. And, even though I told you should have at least a good call to action, maybe you don't need 3. Like 2 would be fine. The thing that's really bothering me here is that, once again, the video, and I understand it's a screen recorder, right? But the video kind of draws my attention there, which is kind of good if I want to see what the tool does. But then it distracts me from the funnel they're trying to get me in, right? Now, let's take a look at this one. It's kind of the same elements, but you can see even the color palette draws the eye to this here, this button, and this call to action here, which basically is the same. Then you have a third button, but with a different color, and it's really subtle on the eye. And there is also a video, but it's halfway above the fold. So it shows you there's a video. If you want to focus on it, you just need to scroll and then you can focus on it. This is brilliant because right here, you can also see that the pace of the video is slower than the pace of the video here. So this is slower and you can really focus on the message, see the call to action. And then if you decide, I don't want to click on the call to action now, you can focus on the rest. If you look at the rest of the website, it follows the same philosophy. It's clean and it lets you focus at one thing at a time. Whereas here, I mean, a lot of things seems to be really packed up. Even the color scheme, the color palette doesn't really make you at ease, at least in my opinion. To me, this is way nicer, way cleaner, and I would bet it converts way better. And if you look at the mobile version, it's even more obvious. So this is the first website and this is the second. Way cleaner and easier to focus on the call to action. So why is this website more pro than the other one? Well, first of all, the branding is on point. From the logo to the color palette, everything is easy on the eye and the branding is strong. Next, effective design. Right use of white space, it's super clean, it's consistent in design. They have the round corners here. It looks gorgeous, basically. And last but not least, the attention span. So as we talked about earlier in a previous example, here the attention span is way better because the video is slower paced and also strategically put halfway above the fold. So you can really focus on the message here. One video is worth 1,000 words and then you see the call to action. Whereas here, let's just say it's distracting. So now, as promised, here is the checklist you should apply to all of your websites if you want to easily outperform your competitors. And if you're not very confident with building a website with WordPress because maybe you've never done it or it was a long time ago, well, lucky you, because we have a course dedicated to it and it's completely free. And of course, you'll find the links in the description below. I hope you enjoyed the video and I'd be curious to know, what did you struggle most with when it comes to building pro websites before watching this video? Let me know in the comments below.